Okay, today's video we're going to talk about how Facebook, LinkedIn, even Google and other places that you can advertise online is seemingly over-reporting the conversions inside those ad platforms and potentially, assumingly, some people will say is trying to fool you by intentionally kind of muddying the waters as far as what they constitute as a conversion. It really isn't a conversion if you ask a lot of people. So I'm going to talk about why that is on this particular video, and how you can of course account for it so that you don't make false decisions with your campaigns and so forth. As a side note, if you guys are running Google Analytics to track your your purchases, your leads, your tracking, your conversions and all that, you've always or probably have ran across the issue before where you're wondering why in Facebook it says my conversions are this, and on Google Analytics it's saying Facebook conversions are this. A big part of that is due to the conversion window, or the amount of time that Facebook will actually track, from somebody clicking on the ad to they purchase, whereas Google Analytics traditionally, as it comes to when you're talking about any other source besides Google traffic or from Google ads, it only tracks whether they purchase on that exact click they came from Facebook, whereas on Facebook they track if somebody clicks, goes to your website, and then converts within the conversion window, which is up to 7 days. Now it used to be more than that. And because Facebook tracks up to 7 days from the click, and Google Analytics only looks at that actual click session that stems from that click itself, the numbers are different. And of course, the other main thing is you may get somebody to click on a Facebook ad, go to your site, and then later on click on a Google ad and then buy. And then you could actually show one conversion in Google Analytics, but really Google's claiming the conversion, Facebook's claiming the conversion, and your data can be presumably all screwed up because of that. And that's where Google Analytics comes in handy, because it only lets one platform take credit for the lead. And it's whatever session, it's last click attribution as they call it. If they didn't click and convert right away, then you can't, it doesn't claim a conversion for those other sources. So if in the previous example where they started out on Facebook, came to your site later on, Google searched your brand on Google, then claimed your site, then converted, Google would get the conversion in Google Analytics. But besides that, there's something totally new here that's screwing people up. More and more PPC platforms as a whole are counting views, not clicks, as conversions, inside the ad platforms. Facebook, LinkedIn, Google is all doing it. There's other platforms that are getting in to do it, such as AdRoll, that are not quite as egregious as it comes to it. And I'm not going to call it a scam or anything. It's just basically, while view-through conversions definitely have their place, and I just made a video about view-through conversions, which is what is actually over counting the conversions or over-inflating the conversion numbers for people inside their ad accounts in these places. The problem comes in when the average Joe that's trying to do PPC basically doesn't understand why the sales in his, assuming it's an e-commerce business, inside his Shopify platform, in his WooCommerce platform, is not matching up with what they see in their Facebook or Google account, and that becomes a problem. Of course, maybe see in Google Analytics, even though I gave you some reasons for why the Google Analytics purchases may not, or conversions may not match up with what you see in Facebook and Google and so forth. As of late, these platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google, are adding these so-called view-through conversions, which is, I talked about a click-through conversion, what that is, i.e. they click, and then within a specified period of time, which is, they call it a conversion or cookie window, they have to convert into a sale. And if they convert within a certain amount of time predefined by the user, the advertiser, then they're counted as a conversion. Now they're getting into to supposedly maybe soup up their numbers, make their stuff look a little bit more productive than it is, to get more people maybe a little bit more false confidence so that they want to do more advertising with them, they started counting people who seen the ad, not clicked on it, and as long as that same person purchased on your website or converted into a lead on your website or whatever you're tracking, then they're counting that as a conversion as well. So that's a view-through conversion. View-through, they viewed the ad and then later on purchased. They didn't click, and then there's click-through conversion. They clicked through the ad and then converted within the specified time period as you had specified as a click-through conversion window. There's also view-through conversion window, which is the amount of time that is allowed for somebody to see your ad and then purchase to be counted as a view-through conversion. Where the problem again, comes up is where these platforms are basically combining the view-through conversions and the click-through conversions as one number, just calling it conversions. Whereas the average person that's been doing, maybe they had an online business for 15 years, they always considered a conversion as somebody clicking through the ad and then converting. They're not seeing the ad and then converting, clicking through. And slowly, these platforms have notified you, certainly got an email from each one of these platforms once they made the change. We're changing how we're tracking conversions. The average business owner is too busy to read that, which I'm not going to blame these platforms. I'll blame the business owners, sure. I'm just putting this video out there saying this is what other people are saying. They're saying that they're, feeling deceived, not if after explaining this stuff to our clients, asking these questions about conversions, things not lining up. That they're counting these so-called view-through conversions, they're salty about it, and so they certainly, I guess it's debatable. On one hand, I think they should only count a conversion as you're looking at your campaign menu in your account. Conversions should be people clicking through the ad and purchasing. I understand why they want to add these view-through conversions in because basically, obviously, it gives you a better picture, but again, the problem is when you don't know view-through conversions are added to that conversion number, it gives you a skewed opinion because it doesn't say conversions, like you hover over where it says conversions and it says conversions equals view-through conversions plus click-through. No, it just says conversions. And it gets the average person to think the way that it always was, which was just the click-through conversions, is what it is now. And they slowly moved to adding these view-through conversions in, and therefore people have false confidence because of it. So these platforms are adding together the as to what the number of so-called conversions you're seeing as the click-through plus the view-through conversions together as one number. And they're also not allowing you to single out view-through conversions and the click-through conversions so you can see separately as it makes up your overall so-called conversion number. Which of them, how many are coming from view-through conversions versus how many are coming from click-through conversions. So at least if they added them together where it says conversions, that it is adding in these so-called view-through conversions, you would at least get to see, oh, well, 80% of it's view-through conversions, so maybe I could scrutinize this. And it's not, like a normal amount of what you would think is the view-through conversions. A lot of these platforms aren't even let you do that. It's just adding in the view-through conversions, which is bad on one level, but it's double bad when they don't even let you see of the conversions how many of them they have counted as conversions are view-through conversions. And as it comes to each platform individually, Facebook allows you to shut off view-through conversions completely. So I applaud them for that. Basically, that's more so. I would just say that's because Facebook's got in trouble with privacy issues, so they're forced to let you shut it off. So you can shut it off completely, or you can have it set up for a 1-day view-through conversion window. So, which is 1 day isn't much. So of the people that they're going to have added in view-through conversions to your overall main conversion number, it's only 1 day worth of view-through conversion, so it's not going to inflate your number of conversions over overall conversions that much, unless you're talking about remarketing campaigns. If you're running a remarketing campaign and there's two different types of marketing campaigns we could talk about here. One remarketing campaign where you're talking about remarketing to people who, what most people think about as remarketing, people who got to your landing page, that maybe you're running a Google Ads campaign, it got to your landing page, or you're running a Facebook newsfeed campaign to new people who've never heard of your brand yet. They get to your landing page, they leave, they don't convert into a lead or a sale. You can remarket to them, and presumably on Facebook, and till you get a purchase. Then there's the remarketing where after they buy, you remarket to them again, your current customers or your house list, to get another purchase. If you're just, on Facebook, if you're using your remarketing to your house list of customers, trying to get them to buy something, and they're frequently buying a lot anyway, that campaign, is going to look like it converts great, even though those customers were probably going to buy anyway, even though they saw that one so-called remarketing ad on Facebook. And of course, if you're just remarketing to people who haven't become a customer yet, but you've paid good money to get to your landing page and know and have heard of you before, the likelihood that they were going to be a customer anyway, whether they saw that one ad or not, from that one campaign or not, is still way, 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 way higher than if they would have saw that ad having never seen or heard of you before and then went on to purchase. So for remarketing campaigns, your conversion numbers on Facebook, in other words, are going to look very, very good. Specifically because anybody who sees that ad and buys from you within a day, if you have the default view through conversion window set up and it's untouched, that campaign is going to look way better than it actually delivers or is. So where the default conversion window on Facebook for click-through conversions is 7 days, and the default view-through conversion window is 1 day. Like I said, you could shut off the view-through conversion windows so that doesn't skew your conversion numbers. But if you don't know about it, now you got these 1 day view-through conversions adding to your conversion number, and you don't know any better, and maybe you made false decisions about whether that campaign you were running, potentially a remarketing campaign, like I said, that really is going to look better than what it actually is for years, and run off false data for years, or that campaign that wasn't profitable, you were running it for years. So, whereas I don't want to tell you not to do view through conversions, this is just to tell you that by default, it is adding 1 day view through conversions into your overall conversion number, and you should really analyze whether you want 1 day or none at all view through conversions added to your overall conversion number. As a side to that, if you watched my previous video about view-through conversions and how it can make you more money, anything where you're talking about selling a product over like $100 price, you want view-through conversion data because that gives you more information on how to optimize your campaigns. Because in specifically that type of situation, a lot of the people where you have a product and it says buy now, a lot of the people who see your ad who are influenced by it and are going to buy aren't going to buy right when they see the ad and click through. If you're asking the user for a small ask, like just enter your email on our landing page and you say that in the ad, or here's a $20 item, buy now, the likelihood that the person's going to click through right there at the exact time of seeing the ad is actually much higher than if you ask them to buy now and it's an item which they know is a few $100s. So in that case, the view through conversion data is more helpful than not. And then typically, if that view through conversion, when you get it in that exact scenario, is just as good as a click through conversion, in which I'm going to treat it just as good as a click through conversion. But if you're not in that situation, product over $100, I'm not going to want to look at the view through conversions as a overall conversion number, and deciding whether that campaign should go on, and to optimize that campaign and try to figure out how to get better numbers from it. And i.e., if I'm going to decide if mobile versus desktop should go, or more or less on each, I want to look at just the click-through conversion data, not the view-through conversion data, if we're not talking about a product over $100, because it's going to give me wrong, unideal information to make our decisions off of. So with that, on top of that with Facebook, though, in addition to what I said, you can't break out the view-through data from the click-through data. Like I mentioned up here, was another thing that these platforms are doing. It used to be with Facebook, they were great about that. You could see on a 7-day level how many view-through conversions you got, on a 28-day level how many view-through conversions you got. And so now you could see, compared to your click-through conversions, how many they're saying the view you got from view-through, and basically you weren't, even if as long as you knew about view-through conversions, of course, you at least knew how to parse that out if you're not in a situation where view-through conversions are important to you, i.e., like I said, a product under $100 where it's not important, basically. And potentially in a situation where you're doing remarketing where you really want to parse that view-through conversion data out. Now, because of the iOS updates, you can't see the view-through conversion data at all. If you have view-through conversion data on, i.e. for one day, because that's your only choice, that data and those view-through conversions on a one-day window is going to be added into your overall conversion number, and you're not going to know how many view-through conversions you've gotten. That's attributed to your overall conversion number. It's just added in, that's it. So it's added into your main conversion number, and you'll never know how many view-through conversions you got. So if you're not selling something over $100, I would say just shut off the view-through conversion data, because it's not helping you a lot, as per our own experience at our agency, running tons of these Facebook campaigns, studying the data and trying to make the most accurate decisions possible to optimize these campaigns, let alone just seeing if the campaign's profitable and whether or not we want to go forward with it or not. So that's Facebook. Now, LinkedIn, a similar type of situation. LinkedIn allows you to turn down the view-through conversion data to one day, even though it still makes you do view-through conversion data at least at one day. So there's no way of shutting off view-through conversion data specifically. And it does add in the view-through conversion data to the main overall conversion data you see, like at the campaigns level and so forth. So if you're looking at your campaigns, you look at your conversions, assuming you have your conversion tracking set up, which you should by now if you're a subscriber of this channel, it's going to show you more conversions than the people who click on the ad and then convert on your site. It's going to show people who click through and then convert on your site, and people who saw the ad and then within 7 days converted on your site if you have the default setup on your campaign. So if you didn't know anything about view-through conversions, it's going to have 7-day view-through conversion window. If you know about view-through conversion window and you can change that, because I'm telling you here, and again, you're not selling something over $100 as a product. If you're not selling a product over $100, and therefore you don't care about the view-through conversion data because it's going to skew your decision making that you want to do to decide whether that one ad over another should be done, used, and so forth, then you will be stuck with the 7-day conversion window, which is worse, which you could have at least, even though it's making you use these view-through conversions as a part of your overall conversion data, you could have switched it to 1-day conversion data. Now, the one thing that LinkedIn does have different than the Facebook is you can break out the view-through conversions. You could actually see how many of the conversions they say you got are view-through versus click-through. That is one great thing about LinkedIn versus Facebook, which don't let you break it out. So-called, the decision was actually made for privacy reasons in the Apple iOS update specifically. So anyway, you get the idea there. So you will have to decide if you want to do 7 days or 1 day. Like I said, if you're selling a product over $100, I would actually do 7 days. It'll help you make better decisions as to what the effect of your LinkedIn campaign actually is, and if you're selling a product over $100, which on LinkedIn, you're not really usually doing that type of thing there, but if you were, that's what I would specifically do. Now on Google, there's quite a bit to unpack here. Google doesn't allow you to change the view-through window, to change whether or not the view-through conversions are added to the main conversion number if you're talking about display campaigns specifically. Google search campaigns, view-through conversions don't get added to the overall conversion number on search campaigns. On YouTube campaigns as well, or on YouTube campaigns, the view-through conversions aren't added to the overall conversion number either. It's only on Google display campaigns where the view-through conversion number is added to the overall conversion number on that display campaign or display campaigns as a whole. And respectively with that, it's not as a small disclaimer or side disclaimer, I have to give Google the full credit where it's due here. On display campaigns, you are forced to have the view-through conversions added to your display campaign conversion totals. That is true, but it's only the engaged people, specifically, basically the people that are hovering over your ad, engaging with the ad, not just if the ad just pops up on the screen for the user, but what they call it here, an ad interaction. So they got close to the ad, or engaging with it in some way. That's the time where the so-called view-through conversion will be added to the overall conversion data and conversion number for that display campaign or display campaigns. Just so that you know. So it's not all view-through conversions, just ones that are engaging with your ad, but didn't have to click through the ad, but were engaging with the ad. Okay. Now you can't change the view-through window itself on Google unless you're talking about an e-commerce checkout on your website or a purchase goal, and specifically a purchase goal through the Google Ads conversion tag. So if you set up your purchase tracking through Google Analytics and then imported it to Google Ads, you can't change the conversion window specifically for view-through conversions. But through Google Ads, purchase tracking and goal / Google Ads tag and then purchase tracking through there, you can change the view-through conversion window anywhere from 1 to 30 days. So you can decide based upon, again, your situation, whether you're doing remarketing or not doing remarketing or selling something that's over $100, selling a product for under $100, you may want a 30-day view-through conversion window versus if you're selling a really cheap item that they should either buy right away or not. You may do a 1-day view-through conversion window. Okay. But if you're not talking about purchases and you're not talking about the Google Ads conversion tag specifically, you're stuck with a view-through conversion window that's the same as the click-through conversion window is for that particular goal that's set up, just so that you know. So with all that said, the other thing good about Google is you can break out the view-through conversion. So the only campaign type, like I mentioned, that you can't actually see broken out the click-through conversions versus the view-through conversions is the display campaign type. The rest of the campaigns you can. So on search campaigns, you can see the click-through conversions and then the view-through conversions. Same thing with YouTube campaigns. Of course, same thing with also even the PMAX campaigns now. But with display campaigns, you can't. With the display campaigns, you can actually, like I mentioned before, it's just the what did they call it again? The interaction, people engaging or interacting with the ad itself. You can actually break out how many conversions, even though it adds it into the overall conversion number, you can actually break it out to see how many click-through conversions versus these people that engaged with the ad, or ad interactions. So people who interacted with the ad and then went on to purchase without clicking through. How many of each type occurred. You do that by simply going into your display campaign, and then you click on segment in the top right above where the campaigns are, and then you go to conversions, and then you go to add event type. From there, then it'll break out right underneath your campaign and say how many came from clicks, how many came from interactions. The interactions is the one where they had to hover over or engage with the ad in some type without clicking through to the web page that's on that you're using as your landing page for the ad. And so we'll tell you how many so-called view-through conversions of the view-through conversions that it is actually adding into the overall conversions for that campaign. All right. So that's the main thing with Google. And so there are other platforms, more and more I see all the time, that these so-called view-through conversions are being added into the overall conversion number. So you should just be aware of it. And these things obviously could change at any time. And so, whereas view-through conversions are amazing, it's just certain people, i.e. people, running remarketing campaigns, the view-through conversions basically kind of suck in a way. And at least in that situation where the view-through conversions, you still can use them, you want to be able to actually also see how many of those versus the other click-through conversions you got, and so on and so forth. There's just a lot of caveats to this, and the less control that these platforms are giving us, the more of it, the better it's making it for them, and the worse it's making it for, I'd say, advertisers as a whole, but particularly the average Joe who doesn't spend every day like what I'm doing here at our firm, studying this stuff and paying attention to all these emails. It seems like anymore, Google, Facebook, they're sending an email every week about stuff that's changing. They don't have time to study this stuff. And half the time it's real technical stuff that even myself has to study for an hour just to realize what updated. They don't have time for this. So it's kind of bad for those people. It creates more work for PPC agencies like us because you can't possibly keep up with it, but bad for the average Joe in that respect. So anyway, that's the deal with the view-through conversions, how that's, can seem like, even though it's not real, can seem like that the numbers are being overinflated when, what sales you have doesn't match up, what sales you have in your e-commerce platform or leads in your CRM doesn't match up with the ad platform, what they're saying that you got. And this is a big reason why, at least recently, as things have been changing recently. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helps improve your situation. I have a ton of videos on this channel about other things, gatyas like this, and actual ways, strategies to make money that we're using on our clients' campaigns that we're studying and coming up with that I share with you all the time on this channel. If you want to learn how to make a ton of money with PPC, this is the channel for you. I literally do not know of any other channel that has quality, actionable advice like we're giving to you on this channel by somebody who is actually in the trenches doing it. I also, by the way, have a blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog with step-by-step instructions on how to build PPC campaigns, where we're actively showing you the exact campaigns that we use and step-by-step instructions on how to set it up. So you can find great information there, but in addition to that, on this channel, you should really consider subscribing. It's the best information you're going to find out there about how to set up ads on Google, Facebook, YouTube, and so forth, and that I personally know that that's out there and that comes genuine from my heart. Also, if you could consider giving this video a thumbs up /like, really appreciate it, and help us get the information out there to other people like you that need it. Beyond that, if you have any questions about anything I covered today, about view-through conversions or how the attribution of view-through conversions works and how to break out the view-through versus the click-through conversions and so on and so forth, anything you think I should have covered here and didn't, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. As a final note, I want to also mention that, as I mentioned on the last couple videos here, we have actual new program where we're offering turnkey PPC campaigns where we'll have a multi-million-dollar a year campaign running in market A. You're in market B. You want the same thing there. We can give you the exact campaign that we're running in market A to use in market B. Exact campaigns, exact landing pages, show you the exact results we're getting. And it's as good as a turnkey business in a box as you can get. Results are good enough. The margins are good enough where you can a lot of times just then basically hire an outside partner, outsource all the work from your website there, and have a business, as is, just by doing that. We've done this with some other people already at this firm, which is why I wanted to open this program up. We also have product campaigns that we've been running. Client has moved on to something else. You want to be able to run a similar business for yourself. The products are sourceable by yourself, as is with anybody else who wanted to do it. We can give you the turnkey campaign that will get you millions of dollars of sales with that particular product. If you wanted to start a new business in that field or in a field where you are actually selling a product. So whether you want to do services or products or anything like that, we're selling locally with the service where that service campaign works great in another market, or nationally sell a product, or Could also be selling products locally. We have a few campaigns like that. You can contact our firm. We'll tell you what results we got with what markets, what campaigns, and we'll set you up with something. I'll wrap it up with that though. Hope you enjoyed and hope to see you in my next video where we have another great money-making PPC strategy for you there, ready to go and take action on. Peace.